The red dust of Mars swirled outside the windows of Outpost Delta 7. Inside, Commander Jack Riley looked at the strange readings on his screen. For the third time that week, the sensors showed something odd at the edge of their range. "Allison, can you check these readings again?" Jack called to his chief engineer. Allison Davis pushed her blonde hair from her face and moved to his station. "Still there, sir. Something big, but it doesn't match any Earth-ship patterns." Jack frowned. Mars outposts often picked up space junk or unusual solar activity, but this was different. The object moved with purpose. "Get Kyle up here," Jack said. "I want security on alert." The outpost was small, just 7 people running tests on Mars soil and atmosphere. They weren't equipped for trouble. Earth Command had assured them that no one needed heavy security on Mars. Who would bother them out here? Kyle Bennett arrived, moments later, his security uniform neat despite being woken from sleep. "Another strange reading, sir?" "Yes, but this time it's closer. I don't like it." Around them, the lights of the outpost suddenly dimmed, then came back on. "That's not supposed to happen," Allison said, her fingers flying across her tablet. "The backup systems kicked in, but I don't know why the main power faltered." Communications Officer Diane Miller spoke up from her station. "Commander, I can't reach Earth Command. Our signal is being blocked." Jack felt the first real stirring of fear. "Everyone full alert. This isn't a drill." The 6 crew members moved quickly to their emergency stations. Chief Medical Officer Samantha Powell secured her medical supplies. Technician Frank Carter checked the air systems. Navigator Eric Johnson tried to get eyes on whatever was approaching them. "I've got visual," Eric called out. On the main screen, a dark shape emerged from behind Mars's small moon Phobos. The ship was like nothing they had ever seen. It reminded Jack of a praying mantis, all angles and predatory grace. It was at least 5 times larger than their outpost. "God," whispered Samantha. "Is that alien?" Jack finished for her. "First contact, and they're coming right for us." Allison's tablet beeped urgently. "Commander, they're scanning us. They're getting through all our systems." "Send the first contact message," Jack ordered Diane. "Tell Earth what's happening." Diane's hands shook as she typed. "Message sent, but I don't know if it got through the interference." The alien ship moved with impossible speed, covering the distance to the outpost in minutes. Soon it loomed outside their windows, blocking out the stars. "I'm getting a power surge," Allison warned. The lights went out completely. Emergency red lighting bathed the outpost in an eerie glow. "They've shut us down," Allison said. "Life support is on emergency backup. We have maybe 12 hours. Jack reached for the emergency sidearm under his console. "Kyle, get everyone weapons. Whatever happens next." A screech of tearing metal cut him off. Something was cutting through the outpost's outer door. "Breach in Section C," Kyle shouted, checking the security feed. "They're coming in." Jack could hear his heart pounding in his ears. "Everyone stay calm. Remember your training." But no training had prepared them for what stepped through the breach. The creatures stood over 7 feet tall, their bodies covered in dark plates that looked like natural armor. Their heads were reptilian but with too many eyes. 6 yellow orbs that blinked in different patterns. Claws extended from multi-jointed fingers. "Hold your fire," Jack ordered as Kyle raised his weapon. "We don't know if they're hostile." His question was answered immediately. One of the aliens raised a device and Kyle froze in place, his body suddenly rigid. "Weapons down!" Jack shouted, but it was too late. The aliens moved with blinding speed. One moment they were at the breach, the next they were among the crew. Jack felt something cold touch his neck, and his muscles locked up. He could still see and hear, but couldn't move a finger. The alien nearest to him made a clicking sound that might have been speech. Another responded with similar clicks. They seemed to be discussing their catch. One by one, the aliens placed devices on each crew member. Jack watched helplessly as his people were immobilized. The tallest alien, with red markings on its armor, approached Jack last. It studied him with those unblinking yellow eyes, then made a sound that might have been laughter. The red-marked alien spoke, and to Jack's surprise, the sounds transformed into rough English. "Weak prey. No claws. No armor. How did you survive so long? Jack couldn't respond, frozen in place. You will provide sport, the alien continued. The hunt honors our ancestors. More aliens entered through the breach, carrying what looked like clear cases. With efficient movements, they placed each human into a case. Jack felt himself being lifted, his body still frozen, and slid into one of the containers. Through the clear material, he could see his crew similarly packaged. The red-marked alien looked down at him. I am Hunt Captain Zrex of the Malzari. You are now property of the Galactic Hunt. Your deaths will bring honor to my clan. Jack tried to speak, to move, to do anything, but his body refused to respond. The cases were sealed and carried through the breach onto the alien ship. As they moved, Jack could see glimpses of the vessel, corridors lined with what looked like trophies from other worlds. Skulls and strange body parts preserved in containers. Weapons and artifacts displayed like museum pieces. They were brought to a large chamber filled with similar cases, some empty, some containing creatures Jack couldn't identify. His case was placed alongside those of his crew. Hunt Captain Zrex stood before them, addressing someone Jack couldn't see. The human specimens are secured. They show no natural defenses as predicted. Soft skin, no enhanced senses we can detect. Their technology is primitive. Another voice responded. Excellent, Hunt Captain. The Council is pleased. Proceed to the hunting grounds. These humans will be your honor prey for the Festival of Nine Moons. Zrex made a gesture that might have been a salute. It will be a short hunt. These creatures appear even weaker than the Zilani. I predict full harvest by the second day. As the aliens left the chamber, Jack could finally move his eyes enough to see his crew in their cases. Allison looked terrified. Kyle's face showed rage. Samantha seemed to be studying the aliens with scientific curiosity despite the danger. Jack felt a strange sensation spreading through his body, a cool numbness starting from his extremities and moving inward. Stasis, he realized. They were being put into suspended animation. His last thought before consciousness faded was that the aliens had made one critical mistake. They thought humans were defenseless. They were wrong. Jack Riley woke up to the smell of dirt and plants. His head hurt and his mouth felt dry. He opened his eyes slowly. Above him was not the metal ceiling of the Mars outpost, but a sky, or what looked like a sky. It was deep purple with strange stars. He sat up and found himself on soft ground covered in blue-green grass. Around him were trees with smooth trunks and large leaves. The air felt warm and damp. Commander? A voice called from nearby. It was Allison Davis, looking confused and scared. One by one, the rest of his crew appeared from behind trees and bushes. Kyle Bennett still had anger in his eyes. Samantha Powell looked around with careful attention. Frank Carter kept touching the strange plants. Diane Miller stayed close to Navigator Eric Johnson, both looking up at the false sky. Is everyone okay? Jack asked. He counted all 6 of his people. They were alive, but he had no idea for how long. I think we're in some kind of zoo, Samantha said. She pointed to a distant wall barely visible through the trees. This is an artificial environment. Kyle checked his pockets. They took all our gear. No weapons, no comm devices. A loud sound like a gong rang through the air. Then a voice spoke, in that strange clicking language before switching to rough English. Prey species, you have been chosen for the honor of the Great Hunt. The hunting grounds are 10 square kilometers. You have 1 full cycle to find shelter or defensive position. Water sources are marked with blue lights. The hunt begins when the sky turns red. Jack looked at his crew. We need to find water first, then a place we can defend. They moved as a group through the strange forest. The plants looked like earth plants, but with wrong colors and shapes. After walking for 20 minutes, they found a small stream with a blue light floating above it. It's safe to drink, Samantha said after testing it carefully. Similar to earth water. As they rested by the stream, Jack tried to make a plan. These Malzari think we're easy prey. We need to prove them wrong. With what? Frank asked. We have no weapons, no tools. We have our brains, Jack said. And we have each other. Let's use this time to learn about this place. Find anything we can use to fight back. They spent hours exploring the area near the stream. They found rocks they could use as tools, long branches that could be sharpened into spears, and vines strong enough to make traps. As they worked, Samantha kept looking at her hands with a strange expression. "What's wrong?" Jack asked her. "Something feels off," she said. "My body feels different. It might be the air here." Jack realized he felt it too, a tingling under his skin, a strange energy he couldn't explain. The false sky began to darken, turning deep blue. What looked like a moon rose, a perfect copy of Earth's moon, which made no sense in this alien place. "They've done their homework," Allison said, looking up. "They know what our moon looks like." As moonlight filtered through the trees, Samantha suddenly gasped in pain. "Something's happening to me." Jack rushed to her side but stopped when he saw her eyes. They had turned a deep glowing red. Her skin was becoming pale, almost white. "Sam?" Jack reached for her, but his own hand caught his attention. Dark hair was growing across his skin, spreading like a wave. "Commander!" Kyle shouted, but his voice changed midway, becoming deeper, almost a growl. All around him, his crew was changing. Allison's skin hardened, taking on the texture and color of stone, with glowing orange cracks appearing like veins of lava. Frank's face elongated, his teeth becoming sharp points as scales appeared on his neck. Diane's body became thin and ghostly, her hair floating as if in water. Eric's skin developed a blue tint, tentacle-like extensions growing from his fingers. Jack felt bones breaking and reforming in his body. He fell to his knees as pain shot through him. His face stretched forward into something like a wolf's muzzle. Claws burst from his fingertips. His senses sharpened. He could suddenly smell everything in the forest, hear the heartbeats of his crew. When the pain stopped, Jack stood on powerful legs, his body covered in dark fur. He looked at his transformed crew with new eyes that could see perfectly in the dark. "What's happening to us?" Allison's voice came from her stone-like form, cracks of orange light pulsing with her words. Samantha, now pale with glowing red eyes, spoke in a calm voice. "The military experiments, Project Mythic. They didn't tell us, but they must have changed our DNA." "How do you know this?" Jack asked, surprised his wolf-like mouth could still form words. "I can see it, in our cells," Samantha said. "My mind is different now. I can understand things I couldn't before." In the distance, a horn sounded. Red light began to spread across the artificial sky. "The hunt begins," Kyle said, his voice a deep rumble from his tall, thin body with antler-like growths extending from his head. Jack felt something new inside him, not fear but a fierce joy, a hunter's excitement. "They wanted prey," he growled. "Let's show them what humans really are." As the red light filled the sky, they heard movement in the forest. The Malzari hunters were coming. Jack could smell them, reptilian, cold, confident. They had no idea what waited for them. Elite hunter Krax led his team through the trees. He had hunted 40 different species across the galaxy. These humans would be simple sport. No natural weapons, no special abilities. Just soft, weak creatures who relied on tools they no longer had. "Spread out," he ordered his 4 hunters. "They will be hiding. Flush them out." One of his hunters moved ahead, tracking the humans by their scent. He disappeared into a thick cluster of trees. A terrible howl split the night. Not human, not anything Krax had heard before. It was followed by a scream that Krax recognized, his hunter. "Report," Krax called. No answer came. Another hunter rushed toward the sound. Krax followed, his claws ready. They found no sign of the missing hunter, just strange tracks in the dirt, like a large canine but with human-like aspects. "What is this?" the second hunter asked, touching the tracks. From above came a sound like stone grinding on stone. They looked up to see a figure falling, a creature made of rock with glowing orange veins. It landed on the second hunter with crushing force. Krax jumped back, firing his energy weapon. The bolt hit the stone creature, but left only a small mark. That quickly healed. "Return to base," Krax shouted to his remaining hunters. "We need—" His words were cut short as something fast and dark slammed into him, knocking him down. Krax found himself staring into the face of a nightmare, a wolf-like creature with human eyes. "Remember us?" The creature growled in a voice that was somehow still human. "The weak prey?" Krax felt fear for the first time in his hunting career. This was impossible. Humans were simple, soft creatures, not monsters. He fought back with his natural claws, slashing at the wolfman. He connected, drawing blood, but the wound healed almost instantly. The creature laughed, a chilling sound. "My turn," it said. Hunt Captain Zrex watched on monitors as his elite hunting team was decimated by creatures that could not possibly be the weak humans they had captured. One hunter was drained of blood by a pale female with red eyes. Another was torn apart by a tall, antlered being that moved like a shadow. "What are they?" his second-in-command asked, voice shaking. Zrex had no answer. In all his years of hunting, he had never seen anything like this. Prey that transformed into predators more fearsome than the Malzari themselves. On the screen, the wolf creature looked directly at the hidden camera. It smiled, showing sharp teeth. "We're coming for you next," it said. For the first time in the history of the Malzari hunts, Zrex felt the cold touch of prey fear on his spine. Hunt Captain Zrex called all hunting parties back to the safe zone. For the first time in 50 years of hunting, he felt unsure. The humans had changed into creatures from nightmares. His first team was gone, dead, or missing. This was not how the hunt was supposed to go. "Send in the heavy teams," he ordered. "Use stun weapons only. I want these creatures captured alive." His second-in-command looked worried. "Captain, should we not just kill them? They are clearly dangerous." "No, the High Command will want to study them. No species has ever done this before." Deep in the forest, Jack and his transformed crew gathered around a small cave they had found. The changes in their bodies had not gone away with the morning light. They remained monsters. "We need to understand what happened to us," Jack said. His wolf-like body felt powerful, his senses sharper than ever before. Samantha, her skin still deathly pale and eyes glowing red, spoke up. "I think I know. When I was in medical school, I heard rumors about a secret military program. They were putting special genes into soldiers, genes based on old stories and myths." "Like werewolves and vampires?" Allison asked. Her stone body moved with surprising grace. "Yes, they called it Project Mythic. I never believed it was real, but now—" Samantha gestured at their transformed bodies. Kyle, tall and thin with antlers sprouting from his head, growled. "Why are we like this now? We weren't like this on Mars." "The Malzari ship," said Diane, her ghostly form floating slightly above the ground. "Something about their air, or radiation, or the artificial environment triggered the changes." Frank, whose reptilian face made it hard to show expression, nodded. "They made a mistake bringing us here. They thought we were weak." Jack felt anger rising inside him, a wild animal rage that he fought to control. "We need to use this. We need to escape." "I think I can help with that," Diane said. She closed her eyes and her ghostly form seemed to grow even less solid. "I can feel all of you in my mind. I think I can connect us, share thoughts." They watched as Diane concentrated. Then Jack felt it, a strange touch in his mind. Suddenly he could sense where each of his crew was, could feel their emotions. "This is incredible," Eric said. His blue skin rippled as tentacle-like fingers stretched. "We can coordinate perfectly now." Through their new mental link, Samantha shared what her enhanced mind had learned. "I can see the ship's systems now. I understand things about their technology. We're in a hunting arena on a huge ship. The Malzari are taking us to their homeworld for some big ceremony. Then we need to take control of the ship," Jack said. Kyle's antlered head tilted as he listened to something distant. "They're coming, a lot of them this time." Jack smiled, showing sharp teeth. "Good. Let's set a trap." The Malzari heavy hunting, Team moved through the forest in tight formation. 10 of their best hunters armed with powerful stun weapons. Their leader, elite hunter Krax, had survived the first encounter, but was now driven by both fear and rage. Spread out in pairs, Krax ordered. Remember, stun only. The hunters moved deeper into the forest. They had the best tracking equipment, the best weapons. These human monsters might be strong, but the Malzari were the galaxy's apex predators, for a reason. One pair of hunters spotted tracks leading to a small clearing. They followed carefully, weapons ready. In the center of the clearing was what looked like a human female, still untransformed, sitting with her back to them. Easy target, one hunter whispered. They moved forward silently. Just as they entered the clearing, the human turned. It was not human at all, but a crude dummy made of branches and leaves. From above, a blue-skinned creature with tentacle-like limbs dropped onto one hunter. From below, the ground split open as a reptilian creature burst up, grabbing the other hunter's legs. Across the forest, similar traps were sprung. The Malzari hunters found themselves ambushed from all sides by creatures that seemed to know exactly where they would be. Krax heard his team screaming through the communication system. He ran toward the nearest pair, only to find himself facing the wolf creature that had attacked him before. Remember me? Jack growled. Krax fired his stun weapon. The bolt hit Jack square in the chest, but he only stumbled back a step before smiling. Our turn, Jack said. From behind, Krax came a sound like wailing wind. He turned to see a ghostly female figure, Diane in her banshee form. She opened her mouth and released a scream that made Krax's head feel like it would split open. He fell to his knees, dropping his weapon. The wolf creature stood over him. Take me to your captain, Jack said. In the control rooms, Rex watched in horror as his heavy team was defeated just like the first. These human monsters worked together perfectly, almost as if they shared one mind. They herded the Malzari hunters, separated them, then picked them off one by one. Captain, his second-in-command said urgently. Something is coming through the forest, headed straight for the entrance to the control room. On the screen, Rex saw a nightmare sight. All 7 transformed humans moving in perfect formation, with elite hunter Krax being dragged along by the wolf creature. Seal all doors, Rex ordered. Activate all security systems. But it was too late. The stone woman, Allison in her golem form, smashed through the reinforced door like it was made of paper. The others followed, each more terrifying than the last. Jack threw Krax to the floor and faced Zrekix. Your hunt is over. Zrek stood tall, refusing to show fear. What are you? We are human, Jack said simply. This is what humans become, when threatened. The pale woman, Samantha, moved to the control panels. Her red eyes seemed to scan the alien technology, understanding it instantly. They're taking us to their homeworld, she said. A place called Malzar Prime. We'll be there. In 3 days. Release us, Zrex demanded. Return us to our normal forms. Jack laughed, a chilling sound from his wolf muzzle. We don't know how. Your ship, your environment did this to us. And we're not sure we want to change back, Kyle added, his Wendigo form towering over the Malzari. We rather like being the apex predators now. Zrex felt true fear grip him. What do you want? First, we want control of this ship, Jack said. Then we want to send a message to your people and to the entire galaxy. What message? Zrex asked. Jack leaned close, his wolf eyes burning with intelligence and rage. That humans are not prey, that we have monsters of our own, and that anyone who threatens Earth will face those monsters. Diane's ghostly form floated forward. Through their mental link, she spoke to Jack. I found their communication system. We can broadcast to their entire fleet. Perfect, Jack said. He turned back to Zrex. Your people thought they found easy hunting. Instead, they woke our monsters. Now the real hunt begins. Zrex knew then that the Malzari had made a terrible mistake. These humans didn't just fight back. They transformed into creatures designed for war. And now they were headed straight for the heart of the Malzari Empire. On Earth, no one knew what had happened to the Mars outpost crew. The distress signal had been too brief, too garbled to understand. The rescue mission found only an empty station, with a single message scratched into a wall. They took us. If we don't return, look to the stars for monsters. No one understood what it meant, not yet. But soon the entire galaxy would know that humanity's greatest weapons were the monsters they became when pushed too far. The Malzari ship moved through space toward their homeworld. Inside, the balance of power had completely changed. The hunters were now prisoners, locked in their own holding cells. The prey had become the predators. Jack stood on the bridge in his wolf form, looking at the stars through the large viewing window. The ship's controls were strange to human hands, but Samantha's vampire-enhanced mind had quickly learned how they worked. "How long until we reach their planet?" Jack asked. 2 days, Samantha replied from the captain's chair. Her pale fingers moved across the alien controls with confidence. "I've been studying their star maps. They have an empire spanning 27 worlds." Allison entered the bridge, her stone body making heavy footsteps. "The engine room is secure. I understand their power systems now. They use some kind of crystal energy source." Through their mental link, Diane shared information she had gathered from the ship's communication system. She had been listening to Malzari messages from across their empire. "They're talking about us," Diane's ghostly voice echoed in their minds. "Word is spreading about the human monsters who defeated their hunting team. Some don't believe it. They will soon," Kyle said, ducking his antlered head as he entered the bridge. "I found their weapons storage. They have enough firepower on this ship to start a war." Jack nodded. His wolf instincts wanted to attack, to hunt down those who had threatened his pack, but the human part of him knew they needed a plan. "Bring Hunt Captain Zrex to the bridge," he ordered. Soon, Frank arrived with the Malzari captain in tow. Zrex's arms were bound behind him, but he walked with the pride of a predator species. "Your ship has sent distress signals," Jack said. "Tell me what response we can expect." Zrex's 6 eyes blinked in their strange pattern. "The Malzari fleet will intercept us before we reach the homeworld. You may have taken this ship, but you are still prey in the end." Eric entered with a data tablet they had taken from the Malzari systems. His blue skin rippled as he handed it to Samantha. "I found records of their previous hunts," he said. "They've done this to 23 other species. Some were driven to extinction for their sport." Samantha studied the information, her red eyes moving rapidly across the screen. "They see themselves as the ultimate predators. All other life forms are either competition to be eliminated or prey to be hunted." Jack turned back to Zrex. "How many ships in your fleet?" "Enough to destroy you 10 times over," Zrex replied, with pride. "The hunting vessel is not a warship. The fleet will show no mercy." Jack smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Good. We want an audience." Through their mental link, he shared his plan with the others. They would not run or hide. They would take the fight directly to the Malzari. Diane's ghostly form floated to the communication station. "I can broadcast to all their ships at once. Send a message they won't forget." Jack nodded. "Do it." Diane worked the controls. Soon, the main screen showed they were transmitting to the entire Malzari fleet. Jack stood before the camera. "My name is Commander Jack Riley of Earth. Your people took us as prey for your hunt. That was a mistake. Humans are not prey. We have fought predators on our world for thousands of years. We have created stories about monsters because we needed to understand fear. And now, thanks to you, we have become those monsters." He stepped back, allowing the camera to capture all 7 of them, each transformed into a different nightmare creature. "We could destroy this ship and die taking many of you with us," Jack continued. "But instead, we offer you one chance for peace. Recognize Earth as forbidden territory. Never return to our solar system. Release any other species you're currently hunting." Zrex laughed. "They will never agree. The hunt is our way of life." "Then perhaps your way of life needs to change," Samantha said coldly. The response came within hours. A fleet of 15 Malzari warships surrounded them, weapons locked on their position. The lead ship broadcast a message from an older Malzari with elaborate armor and many battle scars. This is High Commander Vrul of the Malzari Empire. Your demands are rejected. Surrender the hunting vessel or be destroyed. Jack looked at his crew. Through their mental link, he felt their resolve. They were tired of being hunted, tired of being underestimated. Prepare for battle, he said quietly. Samantha's fingers flew across the controls. I've been studying their weapon systems. We can fight, but not 15 ships at once. We don't need to fight all of them, Jack replied. Just get us close. To the lead ship, the hunting vessel lurched forward, heading straight for High Commander Vrul's warship. The Malzari fleet opened fire, but Samantha's enhanced reflexes allowed her to evade most hits. Engines at maximum, Jack ordered, as their ship took damage from repeated hits. We won't survive this, Zrex warned from where he was restrained. We don't need to survive, Kyle growled. We just need to make a statement. Their ship crashed into the side of the lead warship, tearing through its outer hull but not destroying it. Alarms blared throughout both vessels. Everyone remember the plan, Jack said as they prepared to leave their damaged ship. We're not here to kill. We're here to send a message. They moved through the torn metal connecting the two ships, entering the Malzari warship. Jack led the way, his wolf form moving with deadly speed. Kyle and Frank flanked him, while Allison followed with her nearly invulnerable stone body. Diane floated above them, using her banshee powers to disrupt Malzari communications. Eric and Samantha brought up the rear, their unique abilities allowing them to understand and control Malzari technology. The Malzari crew was not prepared for 7 nightmare creatures to board their ship. Allison smashed through security doors. Kyle moved like a shadow, disarming guards without killing them. Frank used his reptilian camouflage to slip past defenses. Samantha accessed their computer systems, shutting down weapons and life support. In sections of the ship, they fought their way to the bridge, facing increasingly desperate resistance. The Malzari were fierce warriors, but they had never faced anything like these human monsters. When they finally reached the bridge, High Commander Vrul waited with his elite guards. The old warrior showed no fear, only fascination. So the rumors were true, he said, looking at the transformed humans. You have become the very monsters your species feared. Jack stepped forward. We became what we needed to be to survive. That's what humans do. Vrul studied them with his 6 eyes. In thousands of years of hunting, we have never encountered a species that could transform like this. You are worthy adversaries. We don't want to be adversaries, Jack said. We want to be left alone. Around them, the rest of the Malzari fleet had surrounded both damaged ships. Through the bridge window, they could see weapons pointed at them from all directions. Your demonstration is impressive, Vrul admitted. But why should I not order your destruction right now? Jack smiled his wolf smile. Because now you know what humanity is capable of. And because we're broadcasting this entire conversation to every ship in your fleet and to your homeworld. Diane's ghostly form confirmed this through their mental link. Every Malzari in the Empire was watching. The galaxy should know, Jack continued, that Earth is not a world of prey. We are not easy targets. We are the species that turns fear into strength, that becomes the very monsters we once dreaded. Vrul looked at the transformed humans, then at his own warriors. For the first time in Malzari history, the High Commander faced a decision. Continue, a fight they might not win, or acknowledge a new power in the galaxy. High Commander Vrul stood silent for a long moment, his 6 eyes studying the transformed humans. Every Malzari in the Empire was watching, waiting for his decision. You fight well, Vrul finally said, but you are only 7. Even with your changes, how can you threaten an entire empire? Jack stepped forward, his wolf form moving with deadly grace. We are not threatening your empire. We are offering you knowledge. Knowledge? Vrul seemed confused. Yes. Knowledge that humans are not what you thought. Knowledge that there are monsters in the universe you never imagined. Jack gestured to his transformed crew. And knowledge that if you come to Earth looking for easy prey, you will find only death. Through their mental link, Samantha shared new information she had found in the ship's computer. Their society is built on hunting. she told the others, silently. They need to see strength to respect it. Bring Hunt Captain's Rex here, Jack ordered. Frank left and soon returned with the restrained captain. Zrex looked worn but still defiant. Tell your High Commander what you saw on the hunting grounds, Jack said to Zrex. Zrex's voice was steady as he addressed Vrul. High Commander, these humans transformed before our eyes. They became creatures of nightmares. My best hunters were defeated in minutes. They did not just fight us, they hunted us. Is this true? Vrul asked his officers. They nodded nervously. Jack looked around at the other Malzari on the bridge. Your people have hunted across the galaxy, taking species, as trophies, driving some to extinction. You did this because you believed you were the apex predators of the universe. We are, Vrul insisted. No, Jack said simply. You're not. Humans have lived alongside real monsters throughout our history. We've fought them, feared them, and eventually, we became them when needed. Diane floated forward, her ghostly form causing several Malzari to step back. We can broadcast images of Earth's history to your fleet, she said. Show them our stories, our legends, the monsters we've imagined for thousands of years. On screens throughout the ship and across the fleet, images appeared. Ancient drawings of werewolves and vampires, stone golems and banshees, wendigos and sea monsters. Stories from every human culture about creatures that hunted in the night. These were our nightmares, Samantha explained. And now, thanks to you, we have become them. Allison's stone body moved forward, cracks of lava glowing beneath her surface. Your scientists would be interested to know that our transformation appears permanent. We cannot change back. More importantly, we believe this ability may be in all humans now, waiting to be triggered. This was not entirely true, but the Malzari didn't need to know that. The fear on their faces showed the strategy was working. Imagine, Kyle said, his Wendigo form towering over the Malzari officers. 1 billion humans, each with the potential to become a different monster, an entire planet of predators. High Commander Vrul was silent, calculating. Finally, he spoke. What do you propose? A simple arrangement, Jack replied. Earth and its solar system are forever forbidden territory to the Malzari. Any species currently being hunted by your people will be released. In return, we will not share our abilities with the rest of the galaxy. And if we refuse? Vrul asked. Eric stepped forward, his blue skin rippling as tentacle-like fingers extended. Then we will ensure that every species in the galaxy knows about us, and about your weakness. You speak of peace yet threaten war, Vrul noted. We speak as predators to predators, Jack corrected, with respect and clarity. Through their mental link, Diane shared that other Malzari ships were receiving messages from their homeworld. The Malzari public was reacting to the broadcast, and not all were supportive of continued conflict with these human monsters. Vrul must have received similar reports because his posture changed subtly. The Malzari have never backed down from a hunt, he said, but we have never encountered a species like yours. Then make history today, Jack suggested. Be the High Commander, who discovered not prey, but equals. For the first time, something like respect showed in Vrul's eyes. Perhaps, but words are easily spoken. How can we trust that humans will keep their side of this arrangement? The same way we will trust you, Jack answered. By understanding that neither of us wants the alternative. Vrul looked around at his officers, then at the screens showing the human monsters being broadcast across the Empire. Finally, he made his decision. The Malzari Empire acknowledges Earth as forbidden territory, he declared formally. No hunting parties will enter your solar system. Those species currently held for hunting will be released to their home planets. A low murmur spread through the bridge. The Malzari had never made such a concession before. In return, Vrul continued, humans will not spread their transformation abilities to other species and will not attack Malzari territory. Jack nodded his wolf head. Agreed. And so, in the darkness of space aboard a damaged warship, the first treaty between humans and the Malzari Empire was made. 3 weeks later, A Malzari transport ship entered Earth's solar system under a flag of truce. It carried 7 passengers, the Mars outpost crew still in their transformed states. The ship landed at a remote military base where scientists and officials waited nervously. Jack was the first to step out, his wolf form causing gasps among the humans who met them. Behind him came the others, each still in their monster forms. "Commander, Riley?" A general stepped forward cautiously. "Is that you?" "It's me, General," Jack confirmed. "We've changed, as you can see." "How is this possible?" a scientist asked, scanning them with various instruments. Samantha answered, her red eyes glowing in the dim light. "Project Mythic. It was in us all along. The alien environment triggered the changes." The general looked uncomfortable. "Project Mythic was theoretical. It was never implemented." "Then you might want to check your records again," Jack said with a growl in his voice, "because we're standing proof that someone did implement it." Over the following months, the 7 transformed humans became both scientific curiosities and heroes. They had saved Earth from becoming a hunting ground. They had forced an advanced alien empire to sign a peace treaty. And they had shown the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. Scientists studied them, trying to understand their transformations. Military leaders consulted them about alien technologies and tactics. But mostly, they worked on adapting to their new lives, to bodies that would never again be fully human. 1 year after their return, Jack stood on a hilltop under a full moon, looking up at the stars. Samantha joined him, her pale skin glowing softly in the moonlight. "Do you ever regret it?" she asked. "Becoming this?" Jack shook his head. "No. We did what we had to do. We showed the galaxy something important." "What's that?" "That humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our numbers," Jack said. "It's that when pushed too far, we become the very monsters we once feared." Above them, the stars shone brightly. Countless worlds now aware that Earth was home not just to humans but to the monsters that even the galaxy's apex hunters feared to face.